So let us start with our first session, that is the overview of big data analytics. And the agenda of this session is to cover the first module of the course. It is in this we will be covering evolution of big data, definition, its definition, 5 B's of big data, and not 5 B's. Basically, we will be covering 6 B's of big data. So what is big data analytics? We will be discussing in detail. Its use cases, big data as a bone. It's like a medicine for these days. And then various tools that can be used for performing big data analytics. So firstly, we need to know about evolution of big data, how the big data has grown. We are talking about big data, data everywhere. How this has evolved. So we need to know. If any of you know about its evolution, anything about its evolution, you can write in the chat box. I will love to see your comments on this topic. So if we have a look at the telephone, in traditional times, the telephone was simple phones. We press the buttons, or there was a circle shaped dialer. We dial and the call got connected, and that transmission was only analog digital transmission. Only the sine waves were transferring, only the voice data was there. So at that case, data was not large in amount. The data was simple. It was simply voice data in the form of analog signals. And technology has shifted from those traditional telephones to those smartphones. And now our smartphones are collecting a huge amount of data. We are storing the contact numbers. Along with the audio, we are storing videos also. Then so many images are there in a gallery. So that is multimedia data or videos. And GPS. GPS is a type of data which, if somehow we left our location services turned on, then our device is automatically collecting lots of huge amount of data on the GPS servers from where our location is being tracked. So smartphones are collecting huge amount of data. So technology has shifted from telephone to smartphone. It means data will be growing. Then earlier there were simple cars. Then please don't get confused that the car is BMW, so it's a simple car. Actually, it's not a simple car. It's again a smart car. But if we move to a smaller car, all the features that was fitted in a big, huge body of the car, these can be embedded in a smart car also. It is smaller in size, but it has so many sensors, GPS enabled data, or videos are there, multimedia data, and automatic navigation controls are there. Automatic driving. You just run a car from your mobile phone. It is taking all the left and right turns once it has been programmed. So a smart car is an artificial intelligence machine which can take decisions at its own, because you have fed the data in that. So this is a very important figure. This is very, very important figure. If we say earlier, we started from thousands kilobyte of data, 1000 KBs, then megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes. Can anyone tell me at current stage where we are? Are we present at terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, or zottabytes? Anyone? If anyone has any answer to this query, you can type in the chat box. Okay, fine. Let me tell you, currently we are at this stage, exabytes. We have reached the stage of exabytes, but we have not reached the stage of zettabytes yet. But we are very soon going to reach zettabytes, pretty quite. We will be hitting the zettabytes. but currently we are at exabytes. Many of the companies are producing exabytes of data, and the time is not far when we will be reaching zettabytes of the data. And zettabytes are not too close. They may be covered in 2021, but in 2020 we will reach zettabytes, but we will not be reaching zettabytes. This is an analysis that has been done by many data analysts, many data scientists. So they have said we have reached this stage, exabytes. Zettabytes we're about to reach, and zettabytes we will be reaching within a few timings next year. So this is very important figure. I hope you might have heard about IDC and EMCs. No worries if you don't know. Let me first brief about IDCs. So IDC examines consumer markets by devices, applications, networks, and services to provide complete solutions for succeeding in these expanding markets. Markets are expanding in data, and IDC provides all such functionalities like application, network, services to provide complete solutions to this big amount of fields. And a full form of IDC is International Data Corporation. This is the largest firm in the world which works for examining consumer markets, and it stands for International Data Corporation. It provides advisory services and events for the information technology, telecommunication, and consumer technology markets. So next we have term named as EMC. EMC is basically, earlier it was started as a single body, then it was overtaken by Dell. Currently, Dell is owning EMC. And EMC is a digital universe. This is a full-fledged digital universe corporation, which in cooperation with IDC is a multinational provider of products and services related to cloud computing, storage, big data, data analytics, information security, content management, and converged infrastructure. So IDC and EMC provides a fully digital world for providing services on cloud. All type of applications, all type of network, or everything is managed by these two. And this figure demonstrates about the data. So if we talk about is the data exploding, then the answer is yes, data is really exploding. We are in the midst of so-called data explosion. We are about to explode the data. You have probably heard about this. You might have heard about this. We are at the midst of data explosion. It's one of the few technical topics that has actually made it into mainstream media. But I still think it's important to understand just how quickly it's growing. Although it is growing, but I feel we should know how quickly it is growing, because being computer science engineers, we must know how quickly it is growing. We say it is growing, but how quickly? So this figure is all about that. Every year, EMC sponsors a study called Digital Universe. So IDC EMC performs studies, and EMC sponsors this study. That study is about Digital Universe, which is the only study. Please listen carefully. It says this study is the only study that quantify and forecast the amount of data produced annually. There is no such study which can compete this study. So this EMC is performing Digital Universe, a study on in the digital world. This is the only study, single study that is quantifying and forecasting the amount of data which is producing annually. So take a moment and have a look at the graph. It explains the concept of big data is so important to all the professionals. It says if we have a look at 2006, in 2006 there was nothing that exists that was named as unstructured data. In 2006 people were nowhere talking about big data. There was no term when we say data scientist, data engineers, those terms were nowhere. But from this time period 2006 to 2012 it has exploded. It says 22 times growth has happened in unstructured data. We will be discussing about structured and unstructured data very soon. So it says from 2006 to 2012 to 13, there was a growth in the data about 22x. And in 2013, the data was reached 4.4 zettabytes. Last year, if it was the figure of 2013, so it says 4.4 zettabytes of data was increased. And after that, if we talk about 2020, in 2020, data will reach 44 bytes. In 7 years, since 2013 to 2020, the rise in the data will be 44 zettabytes in 7 years. And this orange bar represents unstructured data and this blue bar represents structured data. Structured data is simply your data, that is RDBMS data, and unstructured data is the data that is not structured, that is not relational, that can't be stored in relational databases. So if we talk about this rise in the data, then DBA, ETL developers, data warehouse engineers, business intelligence analysts, and many more are affected by the fact that data is growing at an alarming rate. The term is alarming rate. So it means we should be alert about the data explosion. If still we will not shift our paradigm from SQL to NoSQL, then we will be lacking behind, because so many persons will be working on big data analytics, data sciences fields, and this is the opportunity when you can get maximum jobs in this era. There are many openings in this era because the data is growing at a faster rate. It is growing at alarming rate, and the majority of the data growth is coming in the form of unstructured and semi-structured. We know we are expert in handling relational databases. We are able to handle SQL databases. We can handle structured data. We can create tables. We can store the data. We can create the relations among different tables. We are very expert in those. We all are expert in those. But problem is the growth is in unstructured data. And this unstructured data, the orange graph, this is an alarm. We should be alert and we should start working on this unstructured data. Then we can help the community also, we can help our business also, we can save many lives in the medical field also, and we can do wonders. And NoSQL databases are not difficult to run because they are based on Java, but they are very easy to learn. There are small syntax changes. We need not to create complex tables or complex queries. These are simple queries. Just a few syntax changes are there, and we all can learn MongoDB like databases, HBase like databases. So we can handle, yes, we all can handle unstructured database without any glitch, without any problem. We all are expert. So next, Internet of Things. We are talking about IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things means a machine, a washing machine, a smart fridge, a microwave, traffic lights, windmill, even an electronic toothbrush, a smartwatch we are wearing on our hand, and even a band that is reminding us about drink water, drink water, drink water. It is generating data. A small device, a lock, a door lock. A door lock is also generating data. So IoT is generating data. Data is being exploded. All devices are generating data through sensors and many more. So this image has been taken from GigaZine. I would like to thank for providing this opportunity. This is a source for my data. And this IoT, we have lots of things to do in IoT also, because all the things that are connected comes under the category of Internet of Things, and all the IoT devices are generating data, big data that is being exploded, about to explode. Then social media, one of the important thing we all are interested, we all know about social media. So if we talk about social media, there are many sources of data. Data is pouring from every direction, from all the direction, east, west, north, south, east, west, north, south, whatever is the direction, data is being exploded, data is being poured in the systems on the cloud. This flood of data is coming from many sources. So let's take few examples. If I say New York Stock Exchange, 4 to 5 petabytes of data per year. 4 to 5 terabytes of data per year. New York Stock Exchange is generating this much amount of data. The Internet Archive store around 18.5 petabytes of data. Almost as many cell phones or mobile devices. They are generating 6.8 billion, 6.8 billion, as there are people on this earth. So if there are only 1 billion people, multiply it with 6.8. So this much data is being generated. Every single human being is generating data through mobile phones. If you have turned on the location feature on your mobile, you are generating data. You are not, you may not be aware that you are generating certain data, but you are generating data. YouTube users upload videos greater than 50 hours, approximately 50 hours. And it's not hourly, it's every minute. Every minute, YouTube users upload more than 48 hours, that is approximately 50 hours of video every minute. So see the wonders happening. This data is being stored somewhere, and we have to manage the data. And there are servers, there are data scientists, there are data analysts who are managing this data. You have uploaded the YouTube video, there are certain likes, there are certain dislikes, there are certain shares, subscribers, all data is being maintained. Each and every single moment counts. Now let us take the example of Twitter. Every day 12 terabytes of tweets are happening. Every day 12 terabytes of tweets are generated on Twitter. On Yahoo, it is creating 60 petabytes, 60 PB. Yahoo is creating 60 petabytes of data. eBay is creating 40 petabytes of data. And Ancestry.com, it is a genealogy site. It stores 10 petabytes of data. These figures are approximately of a few 3 to 4 years back, and if we talk about today's scenario, then they are still increasing day by day. We are increasing. We are creating certain figures. These figures I have already covered. So let us discuss. Then we can say there is a peak in Facebook, a peak in quantum of data generated by Facebook. So Facebook, have a look at the Facebook data. It says 1.39 billion monthly active users are there, and they are still growing. This is just a figure, and that is 1.39, but still now they are still increasing. 300 petabytes of user data is there. 1.13 trillion likes since 2004 1.13 trillion likes have been recorded. And if we talk about per day likes, they are 4.5 billion likes per day. Facebook is storing 4.5 billion likes daily. And since 2004, 1.13 trillion likes have been generated. And all likes, whenever you like any of the post, it has to be stored on certain data source for data analysis purpose. 250 billion photos are there, which are growing at 7 petabytes per month. If it is increasing 7 petabytes per month, suppose in January it is 7 petabytes, then in February it will become 14 petabytes, then 21 petabytes, and so on. If we consider this ratio of 7 petabytes. So next we say 4.75 billion items shared per day, which may be your status updates. You are updating status. We are very brilliant in updating the status. We choose our wall photos also. Suppose you have used a wall photograph on your WhatsApp device. Only you can see. No one else is showing, but still you are generating the data. You are uploading the videos, you are uploading the comments, and that is generating data. It is 4.7 billions approximately. 4.5 minutes per visitor per month are there. Visitors data is also stored. 10 billion messages per day, 500 plus terabytes of data ingested into database every day. So this is I have taken this data from August 2015 article, which is I have mentioned the statistics. You can check over there. The link is mentioned. The link is mentioned over here. You can click for a daily checkup of the data and daily updations from this link. There are many more data analysis sites. You can work on any of them. So other factors, retail, customer transactions, and here comes the example of Walmart's. Walmart's handles more than 1 million customer transactions every hour. It records search history details also. Walmart's is an online site for selling its products, and this is the in today's scenario, Walmart is considered the highest data handling site. So banking and finance, healthcare, research activities, all are generating data. So what is big data? We have already studied about big data definitions, but I want to add one more point. It says big data is mostly a buzzword. We consider it as a buzzword. It is used to describe a massive volume of both structured and unstructured data, which is very large and complex to process using traditional database and software techniques. So there are certain types of data. We are basically having 3 types of data: structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So structured data is data whose elements are addressable for effective analysis. It has been organized into a formatted repository that is typically a database, a relational database. It concerns all data which can be stored in SQL in a table with rows and columns. They have relational keys and can easily be mapped in pre-designed fields. Today, the data are most processed in development, and simplest way how to manage information. The example is the relational data. And then we have semi-structured data. Before discussing about semi-structured data, you need to know what is unstructured data, because structured data simply is our relational databases, tabular form, and unstructured data is exactly opposite to structured data. It means the data that is not relational, that can't be stored in table form, is known as unstructured data. So unstructured data is data that is not organized and don't have any predefined manner. Means they don't have any structure. In structured data we define schemas, but in unstructured data we don't have any schema. Predefined schema is not there. So unstructured data is data that is which is not organized in a predefined manner or doesn't have a predefined data model. Thus, it is not good fit for a mainstream relational database. We can't store this data in relational database because relational database has existing schema, predefined schema. So for unstructured data, there are alternative platforms for storing and managing. It is increasingly prevalent in IT systems and is used by organizations in a variety of business intelligence ways. Example of this data is PDF files, text and media logs, all web logs, all text files come under unstructured data. And semi-structured data lies in between structured and unstructured data. So semi-structured data is a type of data which is unstructured but can be stored in tabular form also. So I repeat, semi-structured data is a type of unstructured data, but it can be mapped in mapped in relational form. So data that is not having a formal data model comes under the category of semi-structured data, that is XML files. So semi-structured data is information that doesn't reside in a relational database, but that have some organizational properties that make it easier to analyze with some process. You can store them in relational database. It could be very hard for some kind of semi-structured data, but semi-structured data exists for ease. And the best example for this semi-structured data is XML data. Now we have sources of this semi-structured and unstructured data. So if I say about sources, we have two types of sources. One of the sources is human generated sources. Another one is computer sources. So let me enable my whiteboard. So have a look. So here I say, if I'm saying about human generated data, then broadly I can say it is or any type of blogs, any reviews, emails, pictures, graphs, LinkedIn, contacts, Twitter, all these are examples of human generated data. And here we consider Facebook and Amazon are capturing data. Human generated data it needs interaction with human beings directly. So in this, even though you may not have selected, you may not have interacted directly, but indirectly it is capturing. So consider the example of Facebook and Amazon that captures data. Even though you may not have selected any product, still the website is capturing your details. On Amazon, suppose you are viewing any product, you have not selected that product, you have not added that product into your cart, but still it is capturing your data. It may be capturing how much time you have spent on viewing that product. It also matters. Suppose you are viewing a product, you are not going to order it, but still you are viewing that product, and it will leads toward generation of data that says capturing your details like how much time you have spent viewing the product. So we need not to use any of the mobile, still web servers are capturing the data. So this was about human generated data. Next, let us talk about computer generated. We say computer or machine generated data. So here we say application servers, that is websites, games, internet, and here sensor data. In sensor data we say weather, atmospheric science, astronomy. Then if we talk about images or videos, so traffic security and all. So it needs minimal human interaction. Sensor based devices, IoT devices. Let us consider the example of cell phone. We have discussed about location services. If we are turned on, or your GPS system is capturing your data like your longitude and latitude, which is a spatial type of data. Longitude and latitude are spatial type of data that is being captured if we have enabled the location services. And there are many background apps that are running video streaming at traffic lights. So cameras, military surveillance, all are being connected. So I think this